Not just one, there are quite a number, several achievements. Number one, the contribution of the solid mineral sector to the gross domestic product of Nigeria increased tangentially this year. The latest figures from the National Bureau of Statistics did say that it's risen up to about 4.64% from a meager, say, 1.8 or something before. So that's a major achievement or contribution of the solid mineral sector to the GDP. Secondly, this is a corollary of the first one. When you have such a quantum leap in contribution to the GDP, it literally translates to more investment coming into the sector and definitely to the country, DFIs, which also translates into employment generation, technology transfer, beneficiation for the locals, for the local communities and the host communities, and generally creating a catalyst for a multiplier effect for the economy. And when you look at all of these ramifications, they're all salutary to the economy of Nigeria. So I will say in a nutshell that the solid mineral sector this year has made significant contribution and has actually had a very serious impact, not just on the economy, but on the psyche of the people. I say this with all emphasis at my disposal because hitherto, solid minerals, as everybody knows, took a second fiddle in the economic affairs of Nigeria, due to the various reasons that we have bandied all over the place. But now, with the advent of this administration and its renewed hope agenda, which is anchored on economic diversification, solid mineral then becomes a strong pivot around which these economic diversification indicators or factors revolve. So from all available evidences, solid minerals has made significant contribution to the economy this year. And the trajectory is just quite obvious. It's going to grow more and more, given the policy reforms and initiatives that we are putting in place in the sector, a lot of which have started to yield the expected results. So we're very confident that solid minerals, like I said at a forum, is going to be the next economic jugular of Nigeria. And that's no mean achievement at all. First of all, there's something in our licensing process. There are some categories of licenses. We have query license, we have the exploration license, we have a small scale license, small scale mining license, and then the real mining lease, right? Which is a longer term category. Now, the SSML, which is the small scale mining lease, is reserved exclusively to Nigerians. That is not given out to foreigners. And that is because we want to encourage Nigerians themselves, who own the minerals anyway, to also be actively engaged in the operation, the exploitation, exploitation, and judicious utilization of the proceeds that are accruable from this sector. So while, of course, everybody needs the exploration license, you can't do anything without the exploration. So both SSML and ML need exploration. So everybody is, have access to EL, that is the exploration license. But the SSML, small scale mining lease, is exclusive to Nigerians, to allow Nigerians who may not have the financial muscle to get into the longer term category of ML, which is a mining lease. On the mining lease category, anybody, once you have the muscle or what it takes or the capacity, you can have, whether you are a local or foreign investor, anybody can do that. But if you were to group everybody in the same category with SSML, those Nigerians that are interested in operating in this sector, but without the requisite financial muscle, managerial capacity, and technological, access, may find it difficult, may be shut out completely from entering into the sector. So the idea is, to reserve the small scale that requires less of capital, injection, probably less of technological difficulties, or contraptions and all of that. The SSML is a little bit easier to operate than the ML. And even if you look at the various fees, royalties attached to licenses under different categories are also different. What an SSML holder will pay as royalty on an ounce of mineral may be different from that of ML. So that's one of the ways one of the creative methods government came up with to encourage Nigerians into the mining sector. Secondly, we also identified a huge funding gap. Like I said, a lot of Nigerians may not have that muscle. So the Solid Minerals Development Fund, which is an agency under the Ministry of Solid Minerals, was created, to act as a bridge between those who cannot really afford to get onto the early stage exploration or exploitation of their sites. The SMDF is there to arrange, of course, with utmost care, because you can't just make funding available to anybody without the necessary requirements, collaterals and stuff like that fund institutions always require. The SMDF also requires that. But as an institution, it is there to bridge that funding gap. Infrastructural development is very key and critical to solid minerals generally. So at the SMDF, this funding agency, is also our own internal financial institution that can interface on behalf of the ministry with other financial institutions around the world to structure infrastructural development funding for this sector. And he's already doing that. He's doing that with the African Finance Corporation. The AFC is involved with funding an infrastructural program somewhere, what we call the Lobito corridor. The AFC is involved. So we want something similar in our region. You call it Lagos Abidjan corridor or something like that. Yes. So the SMDF is also there to structure this kind of infrastructural project funding arrangements with other maybe bigger financial institutions around the world. And they've started with the AFC. So that, again, is deliberate policy by government to encourage the inflow of more Nigerians into this sector while providing the enabling and conducive environment for their operations. Of course, security is another challenge, which we identified, and a lot of our people, that is Nigerians, who may have sites in remote locations that are subject or prone to insecurity. It was why the government established the mine marshals, to help in combating illegal operations, banditry, and all of that associated with mining. And like I said yesterday, these mining marshals have recovered about 98 mining sites from illegal operators and restored back to the legitimate owners of so they've been doing quite a lot. And that is also to protect Nigerians and operators, investors in the sector generally. So a lot has been done. We have achieved the goal, and the goal of its setting up 10 years ago was to create a platform or a forum that will bring together all stakeholders in the sector, the regulatory authorities, the government, operators, investors, even the communities, because these minerals are embedded in communities all around. And if you are going to go into a community to start drilling or digging and all that, you are affecting the lives of the communities one way or the other, either environmentally or materially or whatever. So this was designed to bring together all stakeholders of the solid mineral sector to come around, discuss exhaustively, exchange ideas, cross-fertilize, these ideas, such that the challenges that confront the sector will be honestly and openly discussed, and solutions will be profiled. And from such discussions and aggregation of views and all that, policies do come out. Because the regulatory bodies would also be in attendance, and they're always in attendance. So ideas will come, regulators will go back to their desk or offices to formulate policies based on the fresh ideas that arose at such meetings. So it's been quite salutary to the development of this sector. And every year, the operators, the companies, investors, the regulators, everybody, will come together to at least take stock of where the sector is and, of course, project into the future, identify challenges, and profile solutions to those challenges moving forward. So in all ramifications, I will give it a pass mark. It has really achieved the stated objectives, and we look forward to it achieving more in future.